Hello, this is Child Crest. It is all about the child. We are continuing with our series on community health and also zeroing in to hemorrhagic fever, viral hemorrhagic fever diseases. Our Prof is still very much with us, sharing thoughts with us, and of course tapping from his very worthy wealth of knowledge. Let's give you the focus for the discussion today. We shall be focusing on dengue fever. Yes, another fever, this time dengue. Prof will tell us what dengue fever is. Hello, this is Child Crest.
In the kitchen, when women are cooking, food hygiene goes a long way.
Potty training involves getting a child to be continent of stooling and urine.
The parents feel stigmatized or you treat the child differently from how you treat other children.
She is a protector, a giver, and a shield. There's so many things that are being abused.
Herd immunity applies only to contagious diseases.
By making sure we wage war against rodents.
You look at the toys that you're going to buy for the child, especially children under the age of 2, you need to look at toys that they cannot swallow.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, what is dengue fever, sir? Straight to the point.
Thank you very much. Dengue fever is caused by viruses called dengue. They are in the family of yellow fever viruses. They are all transmitted by mosquitoes. And they all cause fever. And I said earlier on that viruses, they all cause fevers, as well as all other microbes, including parasitic infections to malaria. So they all present with fevers. And that's why we need to take samples, let lab diagnose, and tell us the causal agents. So dengue is caused by dengue viruses. Dengue viruses are transmitted by Aedes mosquitoes. Aedes albopictus, they are the major carrier of dengue virus. There are other Aedes species that carry it, like Aedes africanus, Aedes luticiferi, and a host of others. There are 4 serotypes of the virus called dengue, and they call them serotype 1, dengue virus, serotype 1, serotype 2, serotype 3, serotype 4. In fact, of recent now is serotype 5. All these serotypes, they only cause mild fever on their own. They cause mild fever. But the interesting aspect is antibody against serotype 1 does not cross-protect serotype 2. An antibody against serotype 2 does not cross-protect serotype 3. Neither does it cross-protect serotype 4, and vice versa. They are all dengue serotypes, but they don't have common antibodies. So, and that's what brings the severity. If you are exposed to serotype 1 now, and next time you are now exposed to serotype 2, there will be chaos. Because the antibody against serotype 1 that individual has will not protect against 2.
Wow.
But it will enhance the growth of serotype 2.
It's more dangerous.
And that's why we're having serious challenges with dengue fever.
But it's not common in Nigeria, is it?
Especially in children.
Okay.
Who says it's not common in Nigeria?
I've not heard of the outbreak or epidemic.
Yeah, it's been in Nigeria since late 60s.
Really?
That's when the first isolates were made in Nigeria.
But we don't hear of the outbreak like we have Lassa fever, Ebola, yellow fever.
It's because we've not been looking for them.
Oh, your own job is to look for them.
It's only what you look for that you see.
Okay.
A lot of fevers, they call them complicated malarias.
Okay.
Some of these are the causes by viruses. Dengue might not be one of them. What we call complicated malaria, because we only look for malaria. And once they applied anti-malaria, when there is no result, then they will now say maybe we are dealing with complicated malaria. But we know as virologists that we have a number of viral agents that are responsible for all those fevers seen in children, even and in some adults. So that's the problem. It's only when you look for a virus, if you look for it and it's not there, then you will be sure that it is not there.
How common do you think this dengue fever? Have you isolated any recently? And in what area, in what part of the country, and so that we know where the endemic is?
We have isolated dengue from some of the febrile cases from children emergency at LUTH.
Okay. Just
to show that the virus is active here. It's only when you look for it that you see it. Though we don't see it all the time. But if we are able to get samples on time, the chances of picking them are there. But we know we have dengue here.
Okay.
Because so one of my teachers did this PhD on dengue in Nigeria. And they've reported outbreaks of dengue in some part of Ogun State. They've reported it. And then, of course, like I said earlier on, yellow fever and dengue, they mimic each other. They mimic each other. So there are instances of dengue in yellow fever cases.
Okay, so how do I isolate dengue? And in isolating it, is there also some research in providing vaccine to prevent it?
There is effort ongoing now on dengue vaccine. Okay. But because of instability of the virus, it's not stable. And as I mentioned, there are 5 serotypes now. So we have to now bring all these serotypes into any meaningful vaccine. So, and it's a bit of a challenge now, because serotypes circulating here, the strains circulating here are different from strains circulating in Asia. They have more of dengue than yellow fever in Asia. So efforts have been made to generate vaccines, but they are still under trial. Okay. They are still under trial.
All right, we'll be looking at the economic and the societal preparedness of curtailing dengue fever. I see chatting with Professor Sunday AREMU Omilabu, Director, Central Research Laboratory, College of Medicine, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUTH. You remember him? Well, apart from being regular on this program, he actually saved a multitude of Nigerians with the ability to diagnose the Ebola virus some years ago. That is still quite memorable in our memory. Let's go for the short break. Hello, this is Child Crest.
In the kitchen, when women are cooking, food hygiene goes a long way.
Potty training involves getting a child to be continent of stooling and urine.
The parents feel stigmatized and treat the child differently from how you treat other children.
She is a protector, a giver, and a shield. There's so many things that are being abused.
Herd immunity applies only to contagious diseases.
By making sure we wage war against rodents.
You look at the toys that you're going to buy for the child, especially children under the age of 2, you need to look at toys that they cannot swallow.
Remember Remember that you can place your message, your advice on this program, and you are guaranteed to reach your target audience, because what we're doing here is health education precisely for the development of the Nigerian child. Join us shortly as we continue with the conversation with our able prof in-house. You're welcome back. Child Crest is the program. You're welcome back. Child Crest is the program. Let's continue with our conversation. Today we are focusing on dengue fever, one of the topics on our community health series. Prof, thank you for still joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Now, let's look at the management. Like I said, the economic and the societal implication of managing dengue fever.
Because it affects children mostly.
Yes.
The economic loss might be very huge. Looking at the confusion in the family, and now this leads to absenteeism from work, either from the mother or from both parents, and then going back to the cost of even managing it. So this is very huge. And then, of course, no vaccine is symptomatic management. I said earlier on that dengue is a problem because these serotypes, they don't cross-protect, but they enhance their own severity. So antibodies against one will enhance other 4 serotypes available. And once the enhancement comes in, that's once it now leads to leakage of blood vessels. And then you talk of hemorrhage. So we have dengue fever, then we have dengue hemorrhagic fever. And that's one of the complications. And then the severe hemorrhagic fever now leads to what is called dengue shock syndrome, DSS, in children. So they are the stages of the dengue fevers. Fever, which is very mild, which any of the serotypes can cause, and if you come and present the way normal fever will come, then the body will adjust, antibodies will be produced, and the fever will go. Okay. But when it comes to hemorrhagic fever, then you now see the severity. The child will not subside. The fever will not subside, and then there will be damages in the system, then leading to leakages of blood vessels, and then from there, if it is not checked, then it will lead to the dengue shock syndrome.
Do you also consider this dengue fever as infectious? Is it communicable? Is it as deadly as the other hemorrhagic fevers?
It is communicable. It's transmitted by mosquitoes, and we have the mosquitoes around us, and children are mostly affected. Children are mostly affected.
Can it affect human beings if you have it and I treat you?
Sure. From you can transmit with once the mosquito bites an infected individual, because the virus is in the blood, especially during the viremic phase. So the mosquito will take the infected blood, give to another person.
It's scary.
And the other person now will start presenting the fever. And that one too can easily give to another person.
Wow.
Especially when you now happen to be inside the camp, where you have so many children that are vulnerable. So it's easily transmissible. Mosquitoes are the ones driving the mood.
Okay, for instance, the symptoms, now is it as deadly as Ebola that because it's also hemorrhagic?
It's hemorrhagic.
If you are treating without the mosquito bite, you can communicate it to another person?
No. It's you need mosquito bite to carry it.
Okay.
It's blood-borne.
Okay.
Yes, you need not like Ebola that even touching the mouth will
be infected,
or even through respiration.
Okay.
Which Ebola takes all over.
Okay. But is it expensive to treat?
It's very expensive to treat because there's no drug, no vaccine. So they treat based on symptoms.
Because I asked that, how prepared are probably an average parent, a Nigerian parent, or even those in the rural areas confronted with this? and the ability to fund such treatments.
That's
probably
why.
that's why we have a.
That's why they
rate.
always educate nursing mothers and fathers about keeping an hygienic environment. Because of children that whose immunity is very low. So they are the ones that are highly susceptible. Okay. So those that have a very clean environment, no mosquitoes, no rodents, so they keep on growing healthy and healthy. So because they don't have anything challenging their immunity, the immune system is working fine and they are eating fine.
Professor Sunday AREMU Omilabu, Director, Central Research Laboratory, College of Medicine, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Remember that we are not tired. We always knock at the door. I'll pull you out when we need to share this
we're always
knowledge and educate people on the health education we're on. That's Child Crest today. Remember that we still have other segments. The program is open for sponsorship. Sponsor the program so that this health education can continue to endure.
Once upon a time, there lived a farmer. His name was Adejo. Adejo was very hardworking. Unlike his younger brother, Agada, who sits at the village square with his friends, talking about how they will go to the city and make a lot of money. Before their father died, he told them about their legendary ancestor, Iyoma, who was blessed with so much riches that he buried a bag filled with gold coins in a piece of land. Although nobody had dug up the treasure, it was believed to be buried in the only piece of farmland he had left. Afterwards, Agada followed his brother to the farm, hoping to find the treasure. After days of hard work and no sign of the treasure, he returned to join his friends at the village square. After all, the legend could be the mere words of a dying man. One evening, Agada told his brother that he and his friends had saved enough money to leave for the city. The next morning, Agada and his friends were gone to the city where they have always dreamed of. One morning, while walking on the farmland, Adejo struck something hard with his hoe. What could that be, he thought. So he dug around it. And to his surprise, there was a bag in the soil. Although it was heavy, he dragged it out. And when he opened it, he couldn't believe what he saw. The legend was true. Quickly, he lifted the bag above his shoulder and carried it home. Adejo had found the treasure and had become a very rich man. Meanwhile, in the city, Akada and his friends had been in and out of prison, all because they wanted to make quick money.
Do make it a date with us same time next week, when we shall bring you a fresh edition from the studios of Child Crest on All About the Child. Until then, bye for now.